Okay, let's go through them. Okay, option one, you can hire market researchers, right? And option two, you could test, tweak, rewrite, and pull your guys. Or option three, you can use the same shortcut that the biggest competitors in every industry are using right now to secretly have an unfair advantage over you. There is that. So let's quickly compare those options. Number one, hire market researchers. Okay. The pros of that, pros and cons, right? The pros, you can increase your conversions to 5% or 8%, and therefore you can get more profitability. In other words, they can help you rethink what you put on your page, the rearrangement of items on your pages, bringing things out in your menu, having a more clear link and a better image. They can watch the results and see how that's going and tweak, and get you there, right? But the cons is usually there's a high upfront cost. It takes 2 to 3 months to get any results. Lots of personal time gets involved. You have to talk with them about the reasons people are buying from you. Why? Because you strike them as honest, because you're passionate, or because your offers the elite option or the wholesale option, or the option that comes with a certain advantage that most of the other guys aren't offering. You know what one of the biggest things you need on an orthodontist website is, if you ever make one for an orthodontist? You need to put, fast, easy, flexible financing options available. Okay, we have easy, flexible financing options. Now, if you didn't know that, you wouldn't make the whole website without pointing that out, and you would be at a disadvantage because people will key on that with your competitors and won't see it on your site, right? So that's what I mean. The market researchers are going to have a lot of questions for you to figure out how to dial in better conversions on your website. And you would need to keep rearranging your site layout and testing headlines, openers, offers, and everything else. Okay, so, it's definitely not your preferred option, right? What's next? Okay, you could test, tweak, rewrite, and pull yourself, right? The pros are that's much cheaper. Just pay your webmaster or do these tests yourself. Since you know your business, tests come to mind fast. What if you change that headline? What if you put a link to the special offer over here? You can figure that out faster than the market researcher who doesn't know your business. Okay. The cons, though, you need to keep rearranging your site layout and testing headlines and openers and offers, etc. You're going to put in a lot of time, 1 to 3 months or so, to get real results. And not only that, chances are good you're going to lose some of your conversions on the way, right? Because sometimes when you test and tweak and rewrite, you have less of an impact when you thought you were going to have more. Okay, so that's also better, but still not preferred. What's next? Option 3 is take the shortcut. Okay, this is a secret that only top industry leaders know anything about. It's been a secret for years, and they definitely don't want you to know about it because it makes you instantly more competitive. You'll just be more profitable without doing anything differently. So let's cover that because this is why you're here. Okay, this is the shortcut. Install a code snippet that identifies your visitors. Like literally says that guy who landed on your webpage a few seconds ago, maybe he didn't fill in a contact form or anything, but guess what? We know his name, first name and last name, know his email, know his address, city, state, and zip. And we'll decide what to do with those new leads. Okay? So, step 1, how do we do it? Install a code snippet. You or your webmaster will just take about 15 minutes to log into the website, decide where to put the code snippet, paste it in there, save the change, and that's it. Really, that's it. That's all the work. Okay? That's what I meant by you're not going to work harder. You just do these steps. Okay? 3 steps. That's step 1. Don't worry, the code snippet's invisible like Google Analytics. No one will see it. It's for visitor tracking, but with a huge benefit. Okay? You know what an IP address is, right? Every single desktop, computer, laptop, tablet, mobile phone has a unique IP address. IP addresses trace back to people or businesses. Okay? This code snippet looks at the IP address of the visitor and checks to see if we can figure out who they are. Okay? For example, you visit uber.com on your phone and create an account using an email address. Now uber.com can match your IP address to that email address. So now they recognize you whenever you visit, even if you don't actually log in. And they can match that to a backup email if you provide one, which means they can match both of those emails to that IP address. And so now, what if you log into uber.com on your home computer? Before we said you logged in with your mobile phone, right? You created an account, maybe put a backup email address. It might be your wife's email address or your oldest son's email address or somebody's, or just one of your other email addresses that you commonly use, your work email address, your home email address, whatever it is. Then you guessed it. Uber.com now knows that that's a match. So it can match both of those email addresses to either of those devices you use by the IP address. This means the next time you visit their website, you don't even have to log in for them to know it's you. Whether you log in on your mobile phone or your home computer, they know it's you. Ever see those notices about accept our cookies? You've probably seen these, right? On a bunch of the websites you visit. Because guess what? It's not just Uber. All major US companies have hopped on this bandwagon. Okay? They track their visitors. So this whole thing that you see on a website, like this website uses third-party cookies in order to serve you relevant ads and other websites or whatever, accept our cookies. Do you accept our cookies? And you can hit the button that says yes or got it or whatever it is, right? You've probably seen these. These cookies notes look official enough that you sort of feel like you should click the button that says yes or no, right? But it doesn't matter if you accept it. Ever notice that very often you can still browse around the website anyway, whether you accept it or not? Like they're not stopping you from browsing the website? Clicking it just proves you're human, not a bot. Okay? Proving you're human means that they treat your information more seriously. If you're a bot visiting the site, there are a lot of bots that visit sites and a lot of humans that visit sites. If you're a bot, no one wants to spend their time and effort reaching out to see if they can get your interest because you're a bot. But if you're a human, see, clicking it proves you're a human and that you take an action. You'll click the button that's shown to you. That's huge, right? Now companies realize you're reading, you're paying attention, you saw it, you clicked on it, you're interactive. So now they're going to treat your information more seriously. Okay, their notes say that you're responsive. And that's true when you visit other websites. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, even Target, right? They share their notes about you with each other into a single massive database that they all have access to. All major corporations usually with website presences. And therefore, they each reference that database in real time for every visitor they get with a different IP address. So anybody who does business to consumer style selling, they might also do business to business, but if they do sell to US consumers, then yeah, they want access to that database. Wouldn't you imagine? Because like really, how many IP addresses do you think Facebook can identify because somebody has an account on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter? What if they're all sharing their information? Well, then they can compare their information. How many different emails and backup emails and, related IPs come up for the same email? That means the guy has a different computer, laptop, phone, right? Okay. This is the secret that industry leaders have shared for years. They have instant access to a massive list of US personal IP addresses that's growing every day. And if you visit any of their websites, they usually figure out who you are in just 10 to 15 seconds, okay? Even though you didn't reach out to them. So just to backtrack, say you have an account on Facebook, but not LinkedIn, okay? Then when you visit Facebook for the first time, they can check in that database and discover who you are because LinkedIn publishes that information into the database that they all share, right? So Facebook's still going to try to talk you into starting an account, which you may or you may not, right? But they got the information on who you were from the database even before you reach out or sign up for Facebook or anything like that, okay? Okay. So if they know who you are, they have the right to reach out to you by email, either directly or through a partner. Now, why would that be? Because their cookie policy allows the right for them and their partners to contact you by email or phone or postal mail until you choose to opt out or unsubscribe. Do they always email you if they know who you are? No, at least not directly. But while they might not reach out to you directly, have you ever started coincidentally seeing ads or offers or getting emails for something similar to what you were just recently searching for? Yeah, and this is why. Because they're treating you carefully as a hot prospect. See, it's one thing if you visit a website and then they just email you and try to hit your attention up real fast. That can work. It can work in certain cases better than others, but they may do it differently. So we'll go through some of that. There are different ways to deal with that. But first, let's talk about this. Why are you a hot prospect? It's because you took an action to visit their website and you're looking for something they offer. They know what you're interested in right now. So yeah, you're a hot prospect. You will either buy it from them or from a competitor, so they have to recapture your attention fast or lose you. So they contact you or instantly share your info with partners who can reach out to you. Either way. By now you're probably thinking, it's good to be the king. And you know their secret. When you visit any of their websites, no matter what link you clicked on to get there, or even if you just typed it from memory, within seconds, they might discover your name, your email, and your postal address, whether you give it to them or not. Now they can email you their best offers. So what if you had that much power? What if you know who visits your website and which page or topic they landed on, where they came from, and you get that information in real time while they're still on your website? Remember how we said, think about your website for a minute? This is where you realize you're thinking about your website this way. The same traffic comes to your website, but this time you can find out who a lot of those people are. Not necessarily all of them, but you'll find out who a bunch are. So if there was a way you could reach back out to them, and there are different ways to do it that are all good, right? That's just strategy. And then we'll talk about the legality of it shortly too. Don't worry, I'm getting to that. Believe it or not, it's perfectly legal in the US. I'll cover that stuff soon. Then the fact of the matter is, you can reach back out to a number of those guys and recapture their attention. Now, this is the moment where some of you guys revert for a moment and think, oh, they're going to be so angry with me for reaching out to them. No, they won't. That's because you're picturing that they left because they were a critic of your website. No, they just didn't find what they were looking for. They got distracted. If you reach out to them in real time, you're often going to catch them in a great mood. Matter of fact, it's point 1? It's like 1 in 1,000 people actually complain when this is done. If it's just done sensibly, if somebody's using simple, good strategy for this. Okay. But wouldn't you consider those guys who landed on your site your hottest prospects? Yeah, yes. So the secret is that you have the same right that top industry leaders have to uncover the leads who visit your website in real time.